Captain Zorna Exaxthal of the galactic exploration vessel Celestial Curiosity stared at the viewscreen with what passed for a mixture of fascination and horror on her tentacled face. The ship's sensors were picking up some truly bizarre readings from the third planet of this unremarkable yellow star. "Are you absolutely certain these readings are correct?" Science Officer Blorp, she gurgled, her voice modulator struggling to convey the sheer disbelief in her gelatinous vocal sacs. Blorp, a mass of pulsating purple goo contained within an anti-gravity field, bobbed up and down in what passed for enthusiastic nodding among his species. "Oh yes, Captain. I've triple-checked the readings myself. It appears the dominant species on this planet is, laughs, actively trying to chuckles, extend their lifespans indefinitely." The bridge crew erupted into a cacophony of clicking mandibles, hooting proboscises, and bubbling laughter. "Preposterous," exclaimed Navigator Zix, his compound eyes blinking rapidly in amusement. "Next, you'll be telling us they're trying to achieve faster-than-light travel using nothing but exploding chemicals," and more laughter rippled through the command center of the Celestial Curiosity. Captain Zaxthal raised two of her appendages, calling for silence. Now, let's not be too hasty in our judgment. After all, we've encountered some truly bizarre species in our travels. Remember the Flurpians of Gamma Centauri? They believed the secret to enlightenment lay in consuming nothing but fermented swamp gas for a century. Yes, but at least that had a point, Blorp bubbled. These, humans as they call themselves, seem to think that by simply not dying, they'll solve all their problems. Laughs, it's like they've never heard of overpopulation, resource depletion, or the crushing ennui of eternal existence. The captain's tentacles writhed in thought. Fascinating. What methods are they employing in this quest for immortality? Blorp's gelatinous form rippled with barely contained mirth as he brought up a series of images on the main view screen. "Oh, Captain, you won't believe this. They're trying everything from injecting themselves with the blood of their young to freezing their bodies in the hopes of future revival. Some are even attempting to upload their consciousness into primitive computing devices." The bridge erupted in laughter once again. "Uploading consciousness," Navigator Zix chittered. "Don't they realize the philosophical implications? The existential conundrum of whether a digital copy is truly you or just a facsimile? Bold of you to assume they've thought that far ahead," Blorp chortled. "These are the same beings who still haven't figured out how to efficiently harness their sun's energy or clean up their own atmosphere." Captain Zaxthal's tentacles waved in a gesture of bemusement. "Well, I suppose we should take a closer look at these humans. Perhaps there's something to be learned from their misguided determination. Helmsman Gloop, take us into orbit, and someone wake up our xenoanthropologist, Dr. Squish. I have a feeling she's going to have a field day with this one." As the Celestial Curiosity gracefully entered Earth's orbit, the crew couldn't help but feel a mix of fascination, pity, and amusement for the tiny beings scurrying about on the surface below, gracefully unaware of how utterly ridiculous their quest for immortality appeared to the advanced species watching from above. Little did they know, humanity's obsession with cheating death was about to turn their galactic perspectives upside down. Dr. Squish, a gelatinous mass of translucent pink goo with multiple eye stalks, oozed her way onto the bridge, her specialized containment suit barely containing her excitement. "Captain, I've reviewed the preliminary data, and I must say, these humans are absolutely fascinating. Their pursuit of immortality is simultaneously the most absurd and admirable thing I've encountered in my 3,000 years of xenoanthropological studies." Captain Zaxthal's tentacles curled in amusement. 3,000 years, Dr. Squish. My, perhaps you should share your secrets of longevity with our friends down there." The bridge crew tittered at the captain's jab, but Dr. Squish was too engrossed in her findings to notice the sarcasm. "Oh, but Captain, you don't understand. These humans, they're not just trying to extend their lives a few paltry centuries like most species we've encountered. They want to live forever." Laughs and the methods they're employing. Chuckles. It's like watching a Gersblaxian trying to achieve flight by jumping off increasingly taller cliffs. Blorp's gelatinous form jiggled with laughter. "Do tell, Doctor, what's the most ridiculous method you've come across so far?" Dr. Squish's eye stalks whirled in different directions, a sign of intense amusement among her species. "Well, there's a subset of humans who believe that by restricting their caloric intake to near starvation levels, they'll somehow trick their bodies into living longer." Laughs, can you imagine? spending your entire life hungry just to eke out a few extra years of miserable, food-deprived existence. The bridge crew howled with laughter, their various alien anatomies contorting in ways that would have terrified any human unfortunate enough to witness it. But wait, there's more. Dr. Squish continued, her voice modulator struggling to contain her mirth. Some of them are injecting themselves with the blood of younger humans, believing it contains some mystical life-extending properties. Chuckles, it's like they've taken their primitive vampire myths and decided to apply them literally. As Navigator Zizix's mandibles clicked rapidly in amusement. Surely they must realize the futility of their efforts. I mean, even if they managed to extend their lifespan significantly, wouldn't they eventually succumb to the heat death of the universe? Dr. Squish's form rippled with what could only be described as a gelatinous shrug. Bold of you to assume they're thinking that far ahead, Navigator. Most of them seem to be focused on making it to the next century, tops. Laughs, it's like watching a Flerbonian trying to cross an ocean by holding its breath really, really long. Captain Zaxthal's tentacles waved in a gesture that conveyed both amusement and curiosity. As entertaining as this all is, Dr. Squish, I can't help but wonder if there's something we're missing. Surely, a species this determined must have some redeeming qualities. Dr. Squish's eye stalks all focused on the captain, a rare occurrence that indicated she was about to say something serious. Well, Captain, that's the truly fascinating part. Despite the apparent absurdity of their quest, the humans' pursuit of immortality has led to some genuinely impressive advancements in their medical technology and understanding of biology. Chuckles, it's like they're stumbling towards enlightenment with all the grace of a drunken Zorgax, but they're making progress nonetheless. Blorp bubbled thoughtfully. So, you're saying their misguided obsession might actually yield positive results? Laughs, that's like saying the Grosblaxian who jumped off the tallest cliff might accidentally invent anti-gravity on the way down. Precisely, Dr. Squish exclaimed, her gelatinous form quivering with excitement. And that's not all. Their fixation on extending their lifespans has some intriguing cultural implications as well. Chuckles, for instance, they've developed entire industries around preserving youthful appearances. Can you imagine an entire economy based on denying the inevitable march of time? The bridge crew exchanged looks of bewilderment and amusement. Captain Zaxthal's tentacles curled pensively. Well, I suppose there's no harm in observing them a bit longer. Who knows? Maybe we'll learn something valuable from their unique approach to existence. Helmsman Gloop, maintain orbit. Dr. Squish, I want regular reports on your findings. And someone please make sure our cloaking device is functioning properly. The last thing we need is for these humans to spot us and assume we're here to bestow the gift of eternal life upon them. As the crew of the Celestial Curiosity settled in to observe the bizarre antics of humanity, little did they know that their presence was about to catalyze a series of events that would challenge everything they thought they knew about life, death, and the very nature of existence itself. Down on the surface of Earth, in a nondescript laboratory tucked away in the heart of Silicon Valley, Dr. Evelyn Cho was having what could only be described as the worst day of her potentially infinite life. No, 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 she shouted, slamming her fists on the keyboard of her quantum computer. This can't be right. The simulations were perfect. The nano-augmentation should have integrated seamlessly with the host's cellular structure. Her assistant, a lanky young man named Raj, cautiously approached her workstation. Dr. Cho, maybe we should take a break? We've been at this for 72 hours straight, and I'm pretty sure the coffee machine is plotting revenge for our abuse of its services. Evelyn shot him a glare that could have melted steel. Break? Laughs. Oh, that's rich. Tell me, Raj, does death take a break? Does the relentless march of time stop for coffee and donuts? Raj blinked, unsure if this was a rhetorical question or if his sleep-deprived boss actually expected an answer. Well, technically time is a human construct, and exactly, Evelyn exclaimed, cutting him off. Time is a construct, and we are its architects. We're on the verge of cracking the code of immortality, and you want to take a break. Laughs and talks simultaneously. Oh sure, let's all go home and watch Netflix while our telomeres continue to shorten and our cells slowly march towards oblivion. Raj sighed, recognizing the manic glint in his boss's eyes. It was the same look she got every time they hit a roadblock in their research. He'd learned it was best to just ride out the storm of sarcasm and caffeine-fueled ranting. Look, Evelyn continued, her voice a mixture of exhaustion and determination. We're so close I can taste it. The nano-augmentations are successfully repairing cellular damage in 99.9% of cases. It's just that pesky 0.1% that's giving us trouble. Raj nodded sympathetically. Right, the 0.1% where the nanobot-augmented cells go rogue and start, what was it again? Trying to achieve sentience and overthrow their meat-based overlords. Evelyn finished, her tone suggesting this was a perfectly normal problem to encounter in the pursuit of eternal life. Ah, yes, that Raj said, trying to keep a straight face. You know, most people would consider a 99.9% success rate pretty good. Laughs nervously. I mean, it's not like we're trying to create immortal beings with godlike powers or anything. Oh, wait. Evelyn spun around in her chair, fixing Raj with an intense stare. Don't you see? That 0.1% is the difference between revolutionizing human existence and accidentally creating a race of nanobot-powered super beings hell-bent on world domination. Laughs maniacally, although, come to think of it, that might not be such a bad fallback plan if this whole cure-death thing doesn't pan out. Raj opened his mouth to respond, then closed it, then opened it again. Dr. Cho, I say this with all due respect and a deep fear for my continued employment. Have you considered that maybe, just maybe, we're going about this the wrong way? Evelyn's eyebrow arched so high it threatened to escape her forehead entirely. Wrong way. Laughed sarcastically. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize there was a right way to overcome the fundamental limitations of human biology and transcend the very concept of mortality. Please, enlighten me with your infinite wisdom, O wise one. Raj took a deep breath, summoning every ounce of courage in his sleep-deprived body. What I mean is, maybe instead of trying to make humans live forever, we should be focusing on making the time we have more meaningful. Laughs nervously, you know, quality over quantity and all that. For a moment, Evelyn just stared at him, her expression unreadable. Then, slowly, a smile spread across her face. It was not a reassuring smile. It was the kind of smile that made small animals want to hide and large animals consider a career change. Oh, Raj, she said, her voice dripping with false sweetness. That's adorable. Truly. Laughs condescendingly. Why don't you take that charming philosophy and go write a self-help book? I'm sure it'll be a bestseller. How to embrace your inevitable demise and pretend you're okay with it. Talks while laughing. Meanwhile, I'll be here, doing the impossible and making sure that when the Grim Reaper comes knocking, we can tell him to go screw himself. Raj sighed, recognizing defeat when he saw it. Right, of course. Silly me for suggesting we accept our mortal limitations. So, shall I order more coffee, or should we just hook ourselves up to a caffeine IV drip? Now you're talking, Evelyn exclaimed, her attention already back on her computer screen. And while you're at it, see if you can find a way to splice hummingbird DNA into the human genome. Those little buggers have an insane metabolism. Might be useful for processing all this coffee. As Raj shuffled off to placate the vengeful coffee machine and possibly look into the legalities of avian human gene splicing, Evelyn refocused on her work with renewed determination. She was going to crack this immortality thing if it killed her, which, ironically, it very well might. Little did she know, high above the Earth's surface, a group of amused aliens was watching her every move, placing bets on whether she'd achieve immortality or accidentally trigger the nano-apocalypse first. Back on the Celestial Curiosity, the alien crew was gathered around a holographic display of Dr. Evelyn Cho's laboratory, watching the humans' antics with a mixture of fascination and second-hand embarrassment. Oh, by the gaseous clouds of Xenon 7, Captain Xaxthal exclaimed, her tentacles writhing in disbelief. Are they seriously considering splicing hummingbird DNA into their genome? Laughs, what's next? Borrowing regenerative abilities from starfish, Dr. Squish's eye stalks whirled excitedly. Actually, Captain, they've already tried that. Chuckles resulted in a rather unfortunate incident involving a test subject growing extra limbs in unexpected places. The bridge crew collectively winced, their various alien anatomies contorting in ways that would have sent any human geneticist into a frenzy of note-taking. Blorp bubbled thoughtfully. You know, as ridiculous as their methods are, you have to admire their tenacity. Laughs, it's like watching a Grosblaxian trying to achieve enlightenment by headbutting a black hole. His navigator Zeeks chittered in agreement. Indeed, although I can't help but wonder what they hope to achieve with this immortality. Talks while mandibles click in amusement. Eternal life spent in a sterile laboratory injecting themselves with nanobots and bird DNA. Sounds absolutely thrilling. Dr. Squish's gelatinous form rippled with excitement. Oh, but that's the beauty of it. These humans, they don't just want to live forever. They want to live forever while remaining young, beautiful, and free from all ailments. Laughs, it's like they're trying to turn their entire species into some sort of pantheon of ageless gods. Captain Extal's tentacles curled in amusement. Gods? Them? Laughs sarcastically. I've seen more divine potential in a Flerbonian gas pocket, although I suppose their determination is somewhat godlike in its sheer absurdity. As the alien crew continued to observe and comment on the humans' relentless pursuit of immortality, an alert suddenly blared through the Celestial Curiosity's command center. Captain Helmsman Gloop gurgled urgently, his gelatinous form rippling with alarm. We're detecting a massive energy surge from the laboratory. Captain Zaxtal's tentacles tensed. On screen now. The holographic display flickered and zoomed in on Dr. Evelyn Cho's lab. The scene that unfolded before the alien crew's various optical organs was nothing short of chaos. Dr. Cho stood in the center of the lab, her hair wild and eyes gleaming with a manic light that would have given pause to even the most hardened mad scientist. She was surrounded by a swirling vortex of nanobots, her body glowing with an otherworldly energy. "It works," she screamed, her voice carrying a hint of something. "Not quite human. I've done it. Immortality is mine." Raj, her long-suffering assistant, cowered behind an overturned desk. "Dr. Cho, please. The nanobots are overloading the containment field." Laughs nervously. Maybe we should have stuck with the hummingbird DNA after all. On the Celestial Curiosity, the alien crew watched in stunned silence. By the 7 moons of Xylox, Captain Zaxtal breathed, her tentacles writhing in disbelief. "They've actually done it." Laughs incredulously. These primitive beings have somehow stumbled upon the secret to immortality. Dr. Squish's eye stalks were spinning so fast they threatened to detach. Impossible. The implications. The sheer improbability. Chuckles in amazement. It's like watching a Gruzblaxian accidentally achieve faster than light travel by tripping over its own tentacles. Back in the lab, Dr. Cho's transformation continued. The nanobots swarmed around her, reshaping her body on a cellular level. Her wrinkles smoothed out, her grey hairs regained their youthful color, and a radiant energy pulsed from her very being. "I can feel it," she exclaimed, her voice echoing with newfound power. "The secrets of the universe, the very fabric of reality. It's all so clear now." Laughs maniacally. "Raj, my boy, we've not just conquered death. We've transcended humanity itself." Raj peeked out from behind the desk, his expression a mixture of awe and an abject terror. "That's great, Dr. Cho. Really great." Laughs nervously. "Any chance this transcendence comes with an off switch, or maybe a user manual?" But Dr. Cho was beyond such mundane concerns now. The nanobots had fully integrated with her body, turning her into something more. She floated a few inches off the ground, her eyes glowing with ethereal light. "Off switch? User manual?" Laughs condescendingly. "Oh, Raj, you're still thinking in such limited terms. Talks while floating. Why would I want to turn off godhood? The power, the knowledge, it's intoxicating." On the Celestial Curiosity, alarms blared as the ship's sensors struggled to process the readings coming from the lab. Captain Blorp bubbled urgently, the energy signature. "It's unlike anything we've ever encountered. It's as if she's tapping into the fundamental forces of the universe itself." Captain Zaxtal's tentacles writhed in agitation. "This is unprecedented." Laughs in disbelief. "We came here expecting to find a primitive species fumbling with the concept of extended lifespans, and instead, we've witnessed the birth of a god," Dr. Squish supplied, her gelatinous form quivering with a mixture of excitement and fear. "Impossible," Navigator Zeeks chittered. "Godhood is a myth, a construct created by primitive species to explain the unexplainable." Laughs nervously. "Surely, this is just some sort of advanced biological process we don't yet understand." But as they watched Dr. Cho continue to evolve, reshaping reality around her with mere thoughts, the alien crew began to realize that they might be witnessing something truly beyond their comprehension. In the lab, Raj had finally gathered the courage to approach his transformed boss. "Dr. Cho? Evelyn, are you still you?" Dr. Cho turned to him, her gaze softening slightly. "Oh, Raj, I'm still me. Just more. So much more." Laughs softly. I can see everything now. The past, the present, all possible futures. Talks while gesturing grandly, and let me tell you, some of those futures are absolutely hilarious. Did you know that in one timeline, humanity achieves immortality through interpretive dance? Raj blinked, trying to process this information. That's fascinating, Dr. Cho. But what does this mean for us? For humanity? Laughs nervously. Are you going to use your newfound powers to solve world hunger? Achieve world peace? Finally figure out why we can never find matching socks? Dr. Cho threw her head back and laughed, the sound reverberating through the very fabric of space-time. Oh, Raj, always so practical. Talks while creating miniature galaxies between her fingers. Why limit us to such trivial concerns? We have the power to reshape the universe itself, to create new forms of life, to explore the multiverse, to finally answer the age-old question of whether that light in the fridge really turns off when we close the door. On the Celestial Curiosity, Captain Zach Thull made a decision. We need to make contact. Laughs incredulously. I can't believe I'm saying this, but we may be dealing with a being that surpasses even our level of advancement. The alien crew exchanged nervous glances. They had come to study a supposedly primitive species, only to find themselves potentially outclassed in ways they couldn't even begin to comprehend. As they prepared to reveal themselves to Dr. Cho and, by extension, to humanity at large, they couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement, fear, and grudging admiration. These humans, with their absurd determination and laughable methods, had somehow managed to achieve the impossible. The universe, it seemed, had a sense of humor after all, and as Dr. Evelyn Cho floated in her lab, casually rewriting the laws of physics with a flick of her wrist, that cosmic joke was about to reach its punchline. Little did the aliens know, humanity's foray into immortality was just the beginning. The real adventure was about to unfold, and it promised to be a tale that would be told, retold, and laughed about across the cosmos for eons to come. As the Celestial Curiosity prepared to make first contact with the newly ascended Dr. Evelyn Cho, the mood on the bridge was tenser than a Zorgaxian poetry slam. Captain Exthal's tentacles writhed nervously as she addressed her crew. All right, everyone. This is not a drill. We are about to make contact with a being who has apparently transcended the very concept of mortality. Laughs anxiously. Any suggestions on how we should approach this? And please, let's try to be a bit more creative than take me to your leader. I have a feeling she is the leader now. Blorp bubbled thoughtfully. Perhaps we should start with a simple greeting. Chuckles something like, congratulations on achieving godhood. We come in peace and mild existential terror. Dr. Squish's eye stalks whirled in excitement. Oh, I have an idea. Laughs. Why don't we offer her a gift? It's customary in many cultures to bring a housewarming present when someone moves into a new home. Surely, ascending to a higher plane of existence counts. His navigator Zeeks chittered skeptically. And what exactly does one gift a newly minted deity? Talks while mandibles click in amusement. A fruit basket seems a bit underwhelming, and I doubt she needs a toaster now that she can probably create matter from pure thought. Meanwhile, back in the lab, Dr. Cho was gleefully exploring her new abilities, much to Raj's increasing concern. Look, Raj, she exclaimed, casually rearranging the constellations visible through the lab skylight. I've finally fixed Orion's belt. Laughs. That thing was driving me crazy. It was always just slightly off-center. Raj nodded weakly, trying not to think too hard about the astronomical havoc this would wreak. That's great, Dr. Cho. Really great. Laughs nervously. But don't you think we should, I don't know, call someone? The government? The scientific community? The local yoga studio? I feel like someone should know about this. Dr. Cho waved her hand dismissively, accidentally causing a small quantum fluctuation that turned all the lab's coffee into a new form of supercaffeinated dark matter. Oh, Raj, always so concerned with protocol. Talks while casually manipulating the fabric of reality. We're beyond such trivial matters now. Why bother with peer review when I can simply rewrite the laws of physics to make our research retroactively flawless? Before Raj could formulate a response to this blatant violation of scientific ethics and several laws of nature, a shimmering light appeared in the center of the lab. The air rippled and distorted, and suddenly the crew of the Celestial Curiosity materialized before them. For a moment, there was absolute silence as humans and aliens stared at each other in mutual bewilderment. Then, Dr. Cho broke into a wide grin. Well, 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 laughs delightedly extraterrestrial visitors. How marvelous. I was just about to start exploring other dimensions, but I suppose first contact is as good a way as any to test out these new godlike abilities. Captain Exthal stepped forward, her tentacles quivering slightly. Greetings, Dr. Evelyn Cho of Earth. I am Captain Zorna X Exthal of the galactic exploration vessel Celestial Curiosity. We come in peace and... Laughs nervously. Considerable confusion. Raj, who had been frozen in shock, finally found his voice. Aliens. Laughs hysterically, of course. Why not? We've already shattered the laws of physics and biology today. Might as well add extraterrestrial visitors to the mix. Talks while gesturing wildly. Anyone else want to drop by? Bigfoot. The Loch Ness Monster. My long-lost sense of normalcy. Dr. Cho floated over to the alien crew, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. Oh, how fascinating. Chuckles, I can see your entire evolutionary history just by looking at you. Did you know your species once had an embarrassing phase where you all had vestigial tails? Talks while creating a holographic display of alien anatomy, absolutely hilarious. The aliens exchanged uncomfortable glances, their various appendages shifting nervously. Yes, well, Captain Zaxthal said, trying to regain control of the situation. We've been observing your planet for some time, Dr. Cho. We were. Laughs incredulously. Rather surprised by your species' obsession with achieving immortality. And now, it seems you've not only succeeded but surpassed all expectations. Dr. Squish couldn't contain her scientific curiosity any longer. If I may ask, Dr. Cho, how does it feel to transcend the limits of your biology? Chuckles in amazement. The data we could gather from studying your transformation could revolutionize our understanding of the universe. Dr. Cho grinned, a mischievous glint in her now galaxy-filled eyes. Oh, it feels absolutely marvelous. Laughs, would you like a demonstration? Before anyone could respond, she snapped her fingers. Suddenly, the entire lab, aliens and all, was transported to what appeared to be the surface of a distant planet orbiting a binary star system. Welcome to Kepler 16 billion, Dr. Cho announced cheerfully. I've always wanted to visit, but interstellar travel was such a hassle before. Talks while terraforming the planet with a wave of her hand now. Let's see about making this place a bit more hospitable, shall we? As the aliens watched in awe and terror, Dr. Cho reshaped the barren planet into a lush paradise, complete with breathable atmosphere and a thriving ecosystem that she had apparently designed on the spot. Captain Zaxthal's tentacles were practically tied in knots at this point. This is, laughs in disbelief. Beyond anything we could have imagined. Dr. Cho, with all due respect, what are your intentions now that you've achieved this level of power? Dr. Cho paused in her planetary remodeling, considering the question. Intentions? Chuckles, oh, I suppose I should have some of those, shouldn't I? Talks while absent-mindedly creating a new species of flying, bioluminescent dolphins. Well, I was thinking of starting with solving all of humanity's problems. You know, world peace, clean energy, pizza that doesn't get soggy when you reheat it in the microwave. The essentials. Raj, who had been silently questioning every life decision that had led him to this moment, finally spoke up. Dr. Cho, not to be a downer, but laughs nervously. Don't you think this level of power might be a bit, I don't know, dangerous? I mean, you just reshaped an entire planet on a whim. What if you accidentally sneeze and create a black hole or something? Dr. Cho waved off his concerns, inadvertently causing a small meteor shower of glitter in the process. Oh, Raj, always so cautious. Laughs, don't worry, I've got this under control, mostly, I think. Talks while juggling miniature stars. Besides, what's the point of achieving godhood if you can't have a little fun with it? As the aliens watched this exchange, they began to realize that their mission had taken a turn they could never have anticipated. They had come to study a primitive species obsessed with extending their lifespans, only to witness the birth of a being with power beyond their wildest imagination. Captain Zaxdal cleared her throat, or whatever passed for a throat in her alien anatomy. Dr. Cho, on behalf of the Galactic Federation, I must ask, laughs nervously. Would you be interested in, perhaps, sharing some of your newfound knowledge with the rest of the universe? Dr. Cho's eyes lit up, quite literally, as stars were born and died in her irises. Share my knowledge. Chuckles, oh my dear Captain, I thought you'd never ask. Talks while opening a portal to another dimension, but why stop at sharing knowledge when we can embark on a cosmic adventure? Who's up for a tour of the multiverse? As Dr. Cho prepared to lead her ragtag group of aliens, her bewildered assistant, and possibly the entire planet Earth on an interdimensional journey, the universe held its breath. The age of human immortality had arrived, and it was shaping up to be far more chaotic, hilarious, and reality-bending than anyone could have possibly imagined. In that moment, as a newly ascended human goddess stood ready to turn the cosmos into her personal playground, one thing became abundantly clear: the rest of the universe was woefully unprepared for humanity's particular brand of determined, borderline insane, and now apparently all-powerful curiosity. The grand cosmic joke had reached its punchline, and the laughter echoing through the multiverse was just beginning.